Yugal.
Can I start, sir? Very good afternoon to our respected chairperson and my fellow colleagues. My name is Dr. Yugal Karkur. I am from Maulana Azad Medical College. I am here to present my paper on Perthes disease, comparing conservative with surgical management. A very brief introduction to the disease. It's idiopathic, non-inflammatory, self-limiting disease which affects the capital femoral epiphysis. The management of this disease has been controversial in terms of whether to put a knife on the patient or to manage it conservatively. The most important thing is, when it is a self-limiting disease, why do we need to treat it? We are not treating the ischemic process because it is reversible and it does not need a revascularization. We need the treatment for the deformed head after revascularization. The aim is to contain the head in the acetabular cavity and avoid further deformities. The mainstay of the treatment in the Perthes disease is the containment, which aims to prevent the femoral head from deforming forces transmitting across the acetabular margin. The containment per se means to ensure the anterolateral part of the femoral epiphysis in positioning within the acetabulum, which should be achieved at or before the fragmentation stage. The objective of this study was to analyze the role of containment of femoral head by conservative or surgical management and their comparative outcomes. We included 36 patients in the study and they graded them according to the lateral Biller classification by Herring. They were randomized into two groups. First group was managed conservatively. There were 18 patients in that. In group 2, they were further divided into A and B. 7 patients of which were managed by derotation osteotomy by Exer and the rest 6 by the trochanteric advancement. 5 patients out of this lost the follow-up, while the rest of the 5 were included in another group 3, which were not treated and were observed like group 1 and 2. In the conservative group, skin traction was given, followed by ambulation with the weight caliper, and the indigenously designed modification of the abduction orthosis was employed. This is the convention was used. We modified it with the weight bearing caliper, which can provide the weight bearing along with the abduction brace. This is one of the example of the patient who was managed with the conservatively with the abduction brace, the pre-op X-ray after the post-op intervention after 6 weeks. The head is well contained in the acetabular cavity. In the surgical containment group, it was divided as I told you earlier. The first was maintained with exercise osteotomy and the second was managed by the trochanteric lateralization and distalization. Preoperatively, we worked up the patient with an anteroposterior and lateral view in increasing abduction and interrotation to see when the head is contained in the acetabular cavity. This degree was noted. This is one of the preoperative X-ray where the abduction and interrotation shows the containment of the head. This is a few of the photographs from the intraoperative period in a adduction derotation osteotomy, which was fixed with a pre-bent plate. The sequential X-rays taken at the 6 month, 1 year and 2 years shows you can see there's a union at the fracture site, at the osteotomy site, sorry, and after the plate removal, the head is well contained and vascularized after the follow-up. Similarly, in the second group, trochanteric advancement was done. Trochanteric advancement had its own benefits of increasing the movement arm, accomplishes a dynamic current concentric reduction, and in the postoperative position, we get a Trendelenburg negative gate. These are the preoperative X-ray and the postoperative after putting a fibular graft and the trochanteric lateralization and distalization done and a 6 month follow-up. The evaluation of the result was done on the functional consideration on the basis of the clinical symptoms of the patient, limb, pain and the limitation of movement, and the radiological consideration in terms of the shape of the head and the comprehensive quotient given by Ratliff in 1976. The final scoring was done and graded into good, fair and poor, and the points were given accordingly. In the first conservative group, there was 70% of the patient with good movement, 18 with the moderate and 12 with the negligible changes. The shape of the head was good in 60% of the patient managed conservatively. Then the size of the head as calculated by the Ratliff's constant was 64% was good in the conservative group. The overall result were good, that is 64% in the conservative group. Similarly, in the group 2A, which was managed by exercise osteotomy, the results were 50% good. Similarly, in 2B, the group which was managed by trochanteric advancement, the results were good in 50%. Though overall, in the last group, the results were good in 20%. This is the comparison of the results. Just to conclude my talk, we concluded that if there is no subluxation, patient can be managed conservatively on the abduction brace. If there is subluxation, in the early fragmentation stage, it should be managed by a surgical containment. A complete physeal damage becomes a contraindication, almost a contraindication to the containment. In the appropriate indication, we found out that the conservative management offers the best results, and the clinical radiological outcome of both surgical procedures we employed were almost comparable. We've also concluded that the outcome depends on the age of the patient when presenting for the treatment and the stage of the disease and the proper method of treatment. Thank you.
Now the session is open for question answers.
I would like to ask one question. In cases of cerebral palsy, you are doing the operations. In cases of dislocation hip, you are also doing the operations on the muscles and tendons. What is your experience? After doing this operation, does the spasm again occurs in the muscles and giving the deformity? What is your experience in your cases or study? Could you follow my question?
Yes, I followed your question. The paper I discussed or I described is only a dislocation of the hip which has become painful, reduced. Only suppose one hip. So there will be no change in the muscle in other parts of the limb or other knee, ankle. That story is different. Muscle power will not, the spasticity will be there, but the spasticity which are dislocated, that will only reduce. That is our aim of the paper.
So even after reduction, the spasm problem will be there.
Spasm problem will be there.
How it will be relieved, Again it may dislocate?
No, patient is getting pain due to the hip dislocation and other problems he is facing. That becomes better, but there will be no spasticity will be there.
Even after the operation?
Yes, after operation, spasticity will be there.
And question fracture clavicle. Who presented this case? Fracture clavicle, In your studies, we were looking that the results are more or less the same in conservative treatment as well as in surgical treatment. And in conservative treatment, we get the union in 3 to 4 weeks time, maybe 5 weeks time in some cases. And in surgical treatment, your union is occurring in 8 to 10 weeks time, more or less. So, how you can say which technique is better, when we get the same result in lesser time and the same result in more time, which method would you like to advocate?
There is still a controversy regarding that. What we get union in 4 to 5 weeks in conservative treatment is usually for undisplaced fractures. What we have studied is more of displaced and comminuted fractures. In these fractures, we may get union, but they are usually going to malunion or non-union. In earlier generations, when people were not that aware, maybe you could get away with malunion. Nowadays, we are getting more and more younger patients who are more aware, so they would rather want a proper union than malunion, and non-union is again unacceptable. So that is the aim of our study, for displaced and comminuted fractures rather than undisplaced fracture. For undisplaced fractures, still the literature says conservative treatment is still better. So,
have you got any experience or a comparative study? Some persons, they are also conducting this wire induction, intramedullary wire, angioplate, which one is better? Wire is definitely an easy one.
So it is definitely easier, but it doesn't give that much stability. The strength is not there, and rotational stability is also not there. For that, it's a better, like a plate provides a rigid fixation, so it's better for rotational stability as well. Whereas that intramedullary, what you're talking of pinning, that is easier procedure and a smaller procedure, but it doesn't give that much strength to the union. So it's easily bendable, easily breaks. So, but we personally don't have an experience of a comparative study in our institute.
Have you ever come across meeting your lung tissues, because just below the clavicle?
No. We usually keep either a reverse end of the osteotome or a bone nibbler to protect the inferior surface of the clavicle. So, and in LCP plates, we have specifically not tried to go for bicortical. We have done unicortical fixation. So that problem we didn't encounter.
You don't go bicortical, you know. It's
In,
only-
in LCP, there's no need to go bicortical, so that is the advantage that
But
it
in
gives.
one X-ray, you know, this your screw was through and
That
through.
was recon plate.
Recon,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So naturally, you would have measured the
Depth gauge.
length of the screw.
Yeah.
But have you ever met? Suppose the screw is a little longer. Is it piercing?
Sir,
the
usually
pleura?
what we try to assess is intraoperatively. If it is longer, we try to change the screw there and then. And if, like in that X-ray, the patient as such didn't present any problem or it didn't go deep because there is again a layer of platysma beneath that. So that does give a certain level of
Or
safety.
do you put some sponge type of things, you know, below the clavicle
So we
in order to
use
say that it may not hurt the underlying structures?
no, as such we have not used a sponge. Intraoperatively, as I said, we use the reverse end of the osteotome so that we come to know if we have crossed the cortex without damaging the underlying surface.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? Any more questions? I will ask one question to Dr. Jugal. What do you feel after derotation osteotomy? There are sometimes shortening, and patient may complain of sitting cross-legged. Do you encounter these problems in this case?
Encountered the problem of the patient complaining of the sitting cross-legged. Shortening was not that a complaint, sir. The patient, the surgical patient needed the surgery.
Now,
I have a question to you. Now, question: trochanteric advancement in a child is not yet established idea. Trochanteric epiphysiodesis has to be done. Trochanteric advancement is in neglected Perthes disease as a reconstructive procedure. So, with varus osteotomy type of surgery in immature trochanteric advancement should not yet described.
so what is the age group of trochanteric advancement in your patients? I think this is should be done in adolescent. Rightly said. So, any more questions? Just to summarize about all the three papers, there is difficult. The spastic dislocation hip is in one stage operation is a difficult case because even in CDH, the neglected CDH, the operative technique is difficult, and you must know the details and expertise that only you can do. And another question that was asked was that the spasticity they do redevelop even if you do the neurectomy or the tenotomy, the spasticity does come back, but you have to take care of it by medicine and physio. As far as the fracture clavicle middle third is concerned, well, you have to be selective. I agree that there is more in today's life. The patient wants no deformity and no malunion. And then in selected case, but you should choose these cases selectively. But there are disadvantages as well. There is a keloid formation. There is always I feel there is a prominence of plate, and you have to remove after some time. You have to go for removal, right? Thank you very much for the session. Right. Okay.